Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. And hey, it's that time of year. You know what's going on? Election time. And maybe just a month from right now, we're going to be voting on things from the governor. Did you know Governor Gavin Newsom is on the ballot again? It seems like every few months we're voting him in or voting him out or something like that. But all the way down, the lieutenant governor, all the statewide offices are on the ballot. Congress, of course, is on the ballot. We have some heated races and, of course, local government. And nothing more important than local government, because most of the things that affect us happen right here locally. And I'm going to bring in our guest, Joshua Phanco.
Phanco, yes.
Running for Clovis City Council. Now, I grew up in Clovis. I went to Clovis schools and stuff, so Clovis is pretty important to me. And so we're inviting people running for office in Clovis to come on. Now, before we get too much into this, the council members seem to stay there a long time. Now, there's 3 seats up right now?
3 seats up this go-round, yes.
Why is there 3 seats up? What happened?
Well, it's just the way the cycle works for Clovis City Council. There's a total of 5 seats on council. We represent the entire city of Clovis. We're an at-large council. 2 of the current council members were up for re-election a couple of years ago, so they're not up for another couple of years, but the other 3 seats, it's that turn.
Yeah, but one guy became a judge.
Correct, yeah.
And one is retiring?
Just retiring, yeah, stepping down.
And so that leaves a majority of the council up for grabs.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's kind of unprecedented in Clovis to have 2 wide open seats and 3 seats up for grabs total.
Now let me see if I remember how it goes. You guys have to live in a certain area, a district.
No, not in Clovis.
Okay, so it's at large.
It's at large.
You
so
can
we
live
represent
anywhere?
all of Clovis. Okay. Whether you live on the north end, south end, east or west, you represent all of Clovis.
And so the voters vote for not one person, but 3 people.
Yeah, a voter can vote up to 3 people. The top 3 votes received, those candidates will be elected to the council.
Can they vote for one 3 times? It has to be 3 different people?
I'd love that, especially if you want to vote for me. But no, you have to vote for 3 separate people. You can vote for 1, 2, or 3. You don't have to exercise your full right. Yeah.
Well, at least vote for Josh Phanco.
That's right.
I'm saying it right?
Joshua Phanco, you got it.
It's easy. It's just how it looks.
That PH throws people off.
I don't know why I'm struggling with it. Now, what part of Clovis do you live in?
I live in Harlan Ranch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's away northeast end?
Yeah, it's at the very northeast part of Clovis, out there at the corner of Shepherd and 168. It's a beautiful community, great community.
Well, that's the thing about that area. People think that's so far out there, but no, you're on the freeway.
Exactly.
So you're downtown Fresno or wherever you want to be in just a few minutes.
Absolutely. I remember driving out there for the first time, long before it was fully developed, thinking, who would ever want to live this far out?
There,
But then, yeah, you're right. Once you get on the 168, you have access to pretty much all parts of Clovis, including Old Town Clovis. You're there in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
So I love the fact that you're still connected to the overall city, even though you're out there.
So you bought a house?
We bought a house, yeah.
Property owner running for city council because you care about your community.
Yeah, our only homes that we've ever owned have been in Clovis. I grew up in Fresno. When my wife and I were married first a couple of years, we decided to build a home in Clovis, just in the border of Clovis at Willow and Herndon. Mm-hmm. We realized that Clovis was completely different than what we experienced even in Fresno, even though we were just one street over.
Willow and Herndon, that was way out there.
Way out there,
It's in the middle of town, really.
Yes.
Now, so you're married, you said?
I
you
am.
Have kids?
21 years, been married to Kimberly, and then we have 3 kids, a 16-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know if you could say what schools, but Clovis schools.
No, absolutely, yeah. Clovis North, Granite Ridge, and Bud Rank.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew Bud Rank, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Remarkable man, yeah.
Yeah.
They named a school after
Wonderful,
him.
yep.
Now, Clovis, let me ask you this. It looks like we're in a Clovis studio because of the sign, but we're actually in the Tower District, and you may or may not have noticed we have homeless people every few feet over here.
Right.
Is homeless affecting the Clovis area?
You know, it is. I think it affects all of us, but I think it's just how the city has treated it and handled it a little bit differently. It's a very difficult topic, a very difficult situation, and I just believe that Clovis, just like anything else, has decided that its rules and its laws will be enforced, and obviously people deserve compassion. People deserve the opportunities to find a way out of whatever troubles that they find themselves in. But allowing them to live on the streets is just not good for them. It's not good for property owners. It's not good for a community. So I think Clovis has handled it well. I'm sure there's things that we'll continue to look at and find ways to help treat that problem, but it's not quite what you would find here in other communities.
Right. Now, sometimes it's a law enforcement issue, the homelessness.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think our law enforcement, the police officers, especially the ones that I've talked with, I think sometimes they're put into positions that aren't fair. I mean, and that's part of it. I think that they're asked to be therapists, they're asked to be social workers, they're asked to do a lot of things that they weren't ever intended to do. Ultimately, they're there to enforce a law, and the law doesn't allow you to loiter or to hang out or to create a residence where shouldn't be one. So our police officers are doing, I think, a great job of protecting the community and protecting them ultimately.
Yeah, these police officers who even started 5 years and 10 years ago, they didn't have those problems. Now it's a whole new approach to community.
Absolutely. And I would say, I've known many police officers, I've seen them, just the level of compassion they show in these situations. I've actually been in situations where they've been called on scene. And just, I've always found that they do a great job of talking with the individual, treating them compassionately and as neighbors and as people of the community, but just obviously helping them get into the place that they need to be to get services, hopefully. And ultimately, it falls on the shoulders of that person to seek out the right services for themselves.
A couple of years ago, many years ago, when I was on the Fresno City Council, Clovis was about 69,000 people.
Right.
Do you know what it is now?
Yeah, it's over 125,000 now. So it's almost doubled since the early 2000s or mid 2000s, which is a part of. It's a great testimony to the fact that Clovis is a place that people want to live and people want to be a part of. But it's also a challenge now that we have to make sure that we're taking on and being thoughtful about how to attack that.
You got to have police, you got to have fire, sewer,
Correct.
water, garbage. All that has grown.
Yeah,
it has to be managed.
And you know what? Clovis has done a great job of managing that, and people have come to want to move to Clovis because of those things, because of the police force, the fire department, the public safety, clean streets. It's just a great community to live in, but we're being challenged with that. The police chief just recently came out a couple of years ago and indicated that we're being challenged with the budget to support our police officers. Fire department's going to have the same challenges, and it's because of that rapid growth. So we need to find long-term solutions that are going to help make sure that we can support those services, the high standards that people have come to love in Clovis.
That's why they moved to Clovis.
Absolutely.
They want those services.
Absolutely.
High level of service, I should say. Now,
yep.
Are you running because you see problems? Are you running to keep up what's going well? What's your motivation?
Yeah, I will say I think our leadership historically has done a great job of Clovis. You can't, you talk to anybody in Clovis, I think most people would say they love living here. It's a great community. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. We've got problems. We've got challenges that are going to face us. Part of the reason I'm running is that I just believe as a business owner, somebody that's living in this city for 17 years, that because of the rapid growth that we face, I believe there's going to be unique challenges that Clovis is going to face that it hasn't necessarily had to face prior. And I just want to help do whatever I can to make sure that we don't lose the tradition and the history and the reputation of Clovis, but we're also being proactive and coming up with solutions to make sure that 10, 20, 30 years down the road, when our children grow up and the next generation comes around, they still talk about Clovis the way that we do. So that's really what motivated me to run.
Now, what's your business? What do you do?
My wife and I own an insurance agency,
nice.
Small, but as I like to say, a mighty insurance agency.
Small
yes,
but mighty.
That's right.
You service people at Clovis there, I'm sure.
We do Clovis and actually throughout California.
Oh, all of California.
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah, Clovis is our community. It's why we set roots there. We wanted to help our neighbors and our friends and people and protect them with their insurance needs. And it's, I would say, largely a large portion of our client base is rooted in Clovis and Fresno.
Right. Now, a lot of people confuse Clovis Unified for Clovis.
Right.
A lot of Clovis Unified is in Fresno.
Yeah, there's a good portion. I want to say it's close to 50% of the Clovis Unified student base lives in Fresno.
Yeah, half of the students in Clovis schools live in the city of Fresno. People
Correct.
say, oh, yeah, everyone wants to. No, they're not transferring. They live there. The
Right.
district comes into Fresno. So does Central Unified comes into Fresno.
Correct.
So
Correct. Yep.
Clovis is, now, is the city and the school district, I guess they have their own police department, the school district?
They do, yeah. So I actually serve on the foundation for Clovis Schools, and we do a lot of fundraising to help augment a lot of the work that Clovis Unified does on a daily basis. We're there largely to support projects, special projects that fall outside of the normal budgetary constraints of the district for students and teachers. But yeah, Clovis Unified has its own police force, really targeted just on the needs specific for schools. But the relationship between Clovis Schools and Clovis, I think, has been a good one. Actually, because of my role on the Foundation for Clovis Schools, I've talked with a lot of the top leadership of Clovis Unified to talk about that existing relationship. And it's been a good one, but I think it's going to be an important relationship going forward because you can't talk about Clovis without talking about public safety and the Clovis Police Force and the Clovis Fire Department. and our Clovis schools. I think they go hand in hand. And although we don't have a direct impact on what happens daily at Clovis Unified, we can make sure that we're partnering with them to make sure that we're supporting their growth, supporting their needs in a way that continues to foster great education for our families.
Yeah, I should ask you that up front. You're involved in some civic things, school
Absolutely.
foundation and stuff. So you're not just, I want to be in office, elect me. You've been helping the city, helping the community, helping the school district along, and now you see another place where maybe you could fill a need.
Absolutely. I think politics is one form of public service, but I think oftentimes the mistake is made in people thinking that the only way to serve the public is in some type of a role like city council or something else. I believe public service starts wherever you are. Mm-hmm. It's in your work. It's what you do daily. It's with your family and your community. But it's also giving back to civic organizations that help contribute in your community. So, I mean, from a very early age in my career, I was taught and mentored by great businessmen and great people in the community that have always served their community. My family has always done their best to do the same. And so I've just tried to do the same thing in everything that I do, whether it's serving on boards or volunteering, being very active in our church. Anything I can do to serve my community is a really important aspect of what I do.
Very good. Our guest is Joshua Phanco.
Phanco, you got it.
Joshua Phanco.
You're a pro now.
Running for Clovis City Council. Anything else you want to add? Anything you want to say to our viewers?
Yeah, I would just say this. This is a unique election for Clovis City Council. There's 10 candidates in total for 3 seats. And I will say one of the best things about Clovis is there's quality people throughout. There's quality candidates throughout. Why vote for me? I would just say I bring a vast experience professionally, personally. I'm not a seasoned politician, but I believe that's one of the reasons why I will serve so well on the council is that I'll bring everyday practical experience to the council and make sure, and the one thing that I really want to stand for when I'm on councils and why I'm so passionate about keeping our Clovis Council as an at-large council is that we get to serve the entire community. I may live in Harlan Ranch, my business may be in one part of town, but I want to serve all of Clovis. There are parts of this city that if we're not careful, we'll get left behind or may even feel like they're being left behind. I want to be a voice for all people of Clovis. I may not be the smartest guy in the room all the time, but I want to make sure that we bring the smartest minds, the best minds to the table for these conversations, very important conversations that we need to have here in Clovis. And I really look forward to serving Clovis, and I hope I have the opportunity to earn your vote.
Very good. Now, if people want to get involved, is there a website?
Yeah, you can check out our website. It's on the screen there, joshua4clovis.com. It'll give you a little bit more information about myself, my background, where I stand on some of the major issues facing Clovis. You can reach out to me by email at josh4clovis@gmail.com. You can reach out to me by phone. I want to be accessible not only in my campaign, but also after when I become a city council member. Okay. So reach out. You can find me at my business. You can find somebody here in Clovis. They probably know me and would love to talk with you.
Very good. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put this video, if you support Joshua, we're going to put this video on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all these things.
Great.
All these social media things. You younger people probably know more about that than I do.
Not that young.
But if you support Joshua, share it. Get it and share it around. Share it to your friends and get it out there. This is a new way to share information. Yeah. Maybe you don't like Josh. I don't know. But listen, you go to his website, find out about him, and if you do like him and you do support him, share the information. We're honored you came here, by the way.
Well, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for the opportunity to share who I am and my vision for Clovis, and hopefully this is important. Having conversations and talking about these things is what it's all about. So thank you for making it accessible to people.
Thank you. Central Valley Talk is dedicated to bringing candidates on. Joshua Phanco is our guest. He's running for Clovis City Council, and we encourage you to go to YouTube, go to Facebook, find his video, and share it. We'll be back with more right after this.